Let me go ahead and start recording. So now that we are starting to record, we ask that everybody turns off their microphone so that our recording we can share it out a lot easier with community who weren't able to come today. And then at the end of our time together, we're going to have a Q&A. However, throughout this webinar, you're more than welcome to ask questions in the chat, and we will address them as they come in as best as we can. And the ones that we can't address through the chat, we will circle back when we have Q&A at the end of this webinar. So I just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Jen Maynard, Casca Dene First Nations, Yukon, Canada. I use she, her, hers, and I work for the Northwest Native Chamber as a business resource navigator. And I am happy to start introducing this Child Care Infrastructure Fund Round 2 application support webinar. And we will be joined by Michael Johnson and Isabella for throughout this webinar in support today. So let's go ahead and get started. We already went over a little bit about the live interpretation, but Isabella has a little bit more nuance to share with you, and I'll let her take it away.
Thank you, Jen. Hi, everyone. Thanks for being here. So right now, if you would like to hear this presentation in a different language, you can click on this little globe that's on the bottom right of your Zoom panel. And then from there, it will let you choose which language you would like to hear the audio in. In the background, you'll probably hear the original audio kind of muffled. And if you don't want to hear that, you can click mute original audio. This also applies to folks who would like to hear the presentation in English. You can select the English channel. That's where we'll be. So yeah, and if there's any questions, please feel free to type them in the chat and we will figure it out. Thank you.
Thank you, Isabella. Hopefully everybody's getting into their channels and feeling secure with that. If anything is holding you back, just go ahead and type it into the chat or reach out to your interpreter or let us know. I think we're ready for the next slide.
Thì chúng ta đã chuẩn bị với cái slide tới.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think our Vietnamese interpreter is on the original channel right now.
How do I change that?
Oh, I'm sorry. 1 second. Let me try to make sure it's updated. Okay, I think we're good.
Let's try that again, see what happens. Sometimes we have little things like that pop up, but it's just fine. So welcome. I've already gone over some of this, but just to reiterate, please use the chat to ask questions throughout this webinar. And please stay muted for the recording. Webinar transcription will be made available in other languages. If you have questions about your specific project, please contact us. You can contact us after this webinar. We will have our information up on the page while we're doing our Q&A. So with this webinar agenda, we're going to be addressing CCIF program overview. So that's Child Care Infrastructure Fund program overview, timeline, and eligible project costs. All of those things are very important items. We're going to be talking about application submission and some of the suggestions that we have in order for that to go smoothly for you. We're also going to talk about the scoring process. You can address scoring that occurred in our past first round that will help you get ready for this second round. And then key components of a successful application. You know, there is a lot to navigate for these applications. And so we're going to talk about some of the key components that will bring you success. And then we're also going to explain what our technical assistance offerings are. So you can connect with us throughout this process, and we have specific items to share with you and tools to help you throughout this process of application. But we also have technical assistance beyond just this application. So we want to make sure that you know about that. And then we'll have a Q&A session. So the program overview. Business Oregon, the Department of Early Learning and Care, and other state agencies are offering the Child Care Infrastructure Fund. CCIF is a competitive grant that helps fund new, expanding, or improving child care facilities across Oregon. The goal is to increase the number of child care facilities and improve their quality. This support helps families and communities by making child care more available and reliable. So just remember some key parts here. This is in support of childcare businesses within Oregon only. And, you know, the goal is to increase the number of childcare facilities, improve their quality. So those are really important things to center with your application and as you're thinking about moving forward. So the timeline, we've already been through round one, which some of you may have applied for, and now we're in round two. Round two applications opened March 26th, 2025 this year, and they will close April 30th, 2025. So that means that we have a very short period of time. We have 20 more days to realize these applications. So this is like your full-time job for the next 20 days so that you can really put your best foot forward in these applications. And then, you know, award decisions will be announced in June 2025. So there's that period of time when there's scoring and outside individuals will be going through these rubrics in order to work with you or to choose who is going to be moving forward in this round. If you are not chosen, there is a third round, and that third round is going to open in the fall. We don't know exactly when. But funding for this second round is not really going to be integrated into your project until September. So it's very important for you to realize that the bids and the quotes that you're going to be receiving in order to get this work done are going to have to reflect the costs and changes in material costs that will be occurring throughout this year and landing in September. So I really encourage you to have that forward-thinking mindset when you're looking at your timeline and your budget. And then these awarded funds must be spent by May 2027. So, project types. Business Oregon is no longer able to fund standalone planning projects. However, planning costs can be included in an application for construction or renovation repairs. So if you applied for planning projects in round one, this is going to look a little different. We don't have that option for this round, nor will we have it for the next round. And we're wrapping that that work up into the costs and the timelines for these three project types that are being offered. So you have minor renovation and repairs, and that is a $20,000 to $100,000 ask for minor repairs and renovations needed to expand and retain your childcare offerings. There's also new construction or major renovation, and that range is from $100,001 to $2 million. So these are large scale projects. For example, remodeling a site, construction of a new center, and then real property acquisition. So that can range from $20,000 to $2 million. And that includes things such as purchasing land, buildings, or ADUs to establish a childcare facility that will not be used as a private residence. And there are a lot of nuance in these asks. You can apply for different projects for different locations, but you can't apply for different projects at the same location. So you need to decide which project type you're going to be applying for, and then roll all of the information, all of the work into that ask for one of these project types. So let's see. So notable changes for round two. Real property acquisition applications no longer need to include an appraisal. However, for the application, these projects will need to include a comparative market analysis, and that has to be performed by a licensed realtor in the state of Oregon. If your project is awarded, a property appraisal will be required prior to contract execution and may be eligible for reimbursement. Now, this is a maybe. It is not a for certain that this will be reimbursed. And it's important to note that this has to be done by a licensed realtor in the state of Oregon. This can't be a snapshot from Zillow or Redfin. It has to be done through this, on a professional level. So that's important to consider. The continued use period has been adjusted for round two awards. Please see below. So continued use period can be a little confusing, but it just means that you are bound to use your site for these designations of time after you've been awarded. So projects from $20,000 to $49,999, you have 3 years of continued use period. Projects 50,000 to 299.99, 5 years. So you have 5 years. Projects 300,000 to 2 million, you're looking at 10 years of commitment. And I think it's time for me to introduce my coworker, Michael Johnson. If you wanted to, or wait a minute, I'm going to do this one too, and then you do the next one. So eligible project costs. You can find the full list of who can apply in the CCIF program guidelines. If you are not sure that you qualify to apply, please reach out to a technical assistance provider. This funding can only be used for permanent projects like building new childcare facilities, making repairs, renovations, upgrades, or buying property. Only childcare providers with an active license in Oregon can receive program funds. Eligible project examples include adding an additional bathroom, playground, and landscaping. And when we talk about playground and landscaping, we mean that it is affixed to the ground. It can't be moved and taken somewhere else. Building a center, renovation, repair, or retrofitting of an existing facility. Ineligible project examples include furnishing and materials. Operational costs such as rent, wages, insurance, marketing, etc. Anything that is not an immovable asset. Property acquisition of home, ADU, to be used as a private residence. So those things are ineligible project examples. And now I will introduce Michael Johnson, my amazing coworker. If you wanted to come on and
I think I actually might be.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna pass it to Isabella really quick and then I'll jump in.
So I will
great.
show everyone how to start your application and how to create an account on Business Oregon's website. Jen, I'm actually going to share my screen. Okay. Sweet. Okay, so I am going to kind of show you how to find the Business Oregon CCIF application. And also the link to the application is embedded in this slide deck, so you will all receive that as well and you can find it there. But I will show you just the easiest way to find it is just by Googling CCIF Business Oregon. It's the first link that will show up. And then from there, we get to the CCIF application page. This is what it looks like. There's this big scary countdown right there. And right here where it says apply now, that's where you're going to create your application portal and all of that and get set up there. But before I go into that, I actually want to talk just a little bit more about the website itself. So over here on the left, there's a panel that says additional resources. This is an excellent thing to keep track of because it has, first of all the languages that you can translate this whole page into. So you can see this page in these languages here. That's where you would select that. And then also it has most notably, I would say, the program guidelines right here. You can access those in multiple languages as well. It also includes the RFGA in detail. It includes checklists, a general like informational handout. It also includes all of the scoring rubrics, which are great to look at. And yeah, so I would keep an eye on this and refer here for first questions that you might have about the application. And then to get started on your application, you go to apply now. And I'm going to create a new account from scratch. If you applied in round one, in the previous round of CCIF, you're actually going to contact Business Oregon directly, and we'll talk about that in just a second. But for right now, this is as if you're applying for the first time and you're creating a new account. So it'll take you to this page. I'm going to click create an account and put in my name. And I made a special email address just for this. I can't reuse my old one. and I'm going to create a password. Confirm my password. And then this is really important. Make sure you check this box for the childcare infrastructure program. If you don't select this box when you are creating your account, or if you didn't select it when you made your account, it could be why you're not seeing or being able to access the program application. So this is really important. And if you didn't check this, if you did not check this box when you set your account up, we can talk about that too, about how to resolve that. And then 2 + 2 is 4. And then I click submit. And then, okay. So it's not letting me do it.
It says
Okay.
you're already logged in, Isabella. I think that might be the problem.
How do I? Oh, okay. So maybe I'll go to homepage. And then,
So you need to go to the top right and log out.
oh my God. Okay, so I'll try to log in here. Oh. I hadn't created an account.
So then you'll go to create an account.
Okay. This is what I just did.
Yeah, but you were still logged into your old account when you did it.
Oh, I see. Okay. Thank you, Lindsay.
No worries. Technology is everyone's friend.
Seeing Business Oregon's team resolve this in real time.
Well, we'll see. Don't give me
Yeah,
credit
okay.
before it happens.
We'll see. Yeah, I won't try to fix it. Come on, please, pretty please. Okay, awesome. Thank you, Lindsay. Okay, so now that we're past that hurdle, this is what the page is gonna look like. And sometimes people will reach out because they don't see the application right away, which makes sense because it's kind of hidden up here. In your upper left corner, you're going to click Childcare Infrastructure Fund. This is where you'll find the application. A lot of times people will reach out because they see this initial message about contacting the Business Oregon Program Coordinator. But this is where you're looking to see if you have the application or not. You can see I'm logged in here. So I'm going to click here to access the application. And then I'm going to click round 2 because I'm applying for this current round. And then I won't go too far into the application itself right here. I just wanted to kind of show everyone how to get started and kind of help get yourself situated here. One thing I will mention is this application is a lot easier to navigate on a computer, on a desktop. So sometimes if you're on your phone doing this application, you might just not be seeing, you might have to click in a few different places to see the full picture. You might be missing some pieces. Just at first glance, it just is a little harder to navigate on a cell phone. So if possible, we would recommend using a computer or laptop, and also using Google Chrome. That's a great browser to use for this application. But yeah, so I'm going to talk a little bit more about this page right here. This also takes you to the program guidelines, just like on the Business Oregon page. I won't click on everything, but this is, again, same resources listed. Our information is listed here if you need help. And then we'll go to your next page. And this is where the application will begin. The only other thing I will mention about the application is when you get to when you get to this section, section D, this is on page 5, which you can see up here. It will ask you at the bottom which of the 3 project categories you'll be selecting for your application, which of the 3 you'll be applying for. You can only apply for one category per application. So I can't select multiple, I can only pick one. And then from here, it's going to shape the rest of the application. So if I choose property acquisition, and that's the category I'm applying for, when I click the next page, you'll notice a little bit later, there's some pages blocked out here. And that's because those pages don't pertain to the property acquisition application. So sometimes people are wondering like, hey, I can't access these pages. Am I missing something? Or is my application missing anything? And it's probably, if you can't access this, it's probably just because it's not relevant to your project application. So it kind of uses this skip logic where it will skip certain questions and certain pages depending on kind of like which route you choose through the project category. So yeah, and then from here, it's the rest of the application. I won't be going through all of that. But Jen, would you be able to put the presentation back up really quick?
I can share, and then
Oh,
we'll
thanks.
jump right in. Yeah, no problem. Just give me 1 second.
Yeah. And then I just wanted to mention on this slide as well, before we move on, if you would like to access your previous application from round one, or if you'd like to reuse any of it or anything like that, you can email Business Oregon directly, and this is their email address. I'll also put it in the chat here, ccif.programs@biz.oregon.gov. And from there, you can send them your name and email address used. Oh, thanks, Lindsay. You can send your name and email address used on that previous application, and they can, and let them know that you're trying to access your round one application, and they can help you from there. So yeah, Lindsay put their email in the chat. That's who you will contact with that. And also another thing I want to mention is if you're having IT issues or anything specifically with your application portal that we just set up, or the application itself, like something's not saving or something isn't attaching and things like that. In general, you can also contact that email as well, the same email that Lindsay put in here, the CCIF programs email, because they're the ones, the team at Business Oregon is they're the only ones who can access your application kind of on that back end, the administrative end. So we cannot access your application. We don't see anyone's application at the Northwest Native Chamber unless it's like shared with us by an applicant. But so if you're having specifically like technical IT issues, that's something that you can go to Business Oregon for the most immediate help. And if not, feel free to reach out to us and we'll connect you as well. So yeah, thank you. I'll pass it to Michael.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jen and Isabella, for just setting us up in such a good way. I'm going to go ahead and move on to my portion of the presentation. And so we're going to get into the application process, and we're going to just share some practical tips for navigating the CCIF application process. So I think the first step is to really discuss the importance of preparation. And we suggest that you write your answers in a separate document before you start the online application, or have some system in place to really make sure that you're organizing your ideas and you're making them clear. And I would also take some time to really polish your answers so they're detailed, concise, and to the point. And once you're happy with what you've written, it's easy to go ahead and just copy and paste those into the online form. And if you need a blank document of the application, you can also feel free to reach out to the Northwest Native Chamber, and we would be happy to provide that to you. So next, we're going to talk about the project checklist. So each type of project you want to apply for will have a specific list of required documentation. So before submitting it, make sure that you really review those lists carefully. And those lists are available online on Business Oregon's website. But just as a quick overview, some of the documents you might need are as followed. So a detailed project budget. So really, these will show how you plan to spend the funds, and then including photos of what you want funded. Pictures can really help reviewers just get an idea of your overall vision. Contractor bids really show how much the project will cost, and really ensuring that project feasibility. Another thing is lender pre-approval letters. So just showing that additional funding support if this is applicable to you. Purchase agreements and blueprints, and business plans. Really highlighting your project's overall goals and strategies is really important. The checklist might also mention some optional documents that could make your application even stronger. So don't miss those. And again, definitely check out these checklists on the Business Oregon website under additional resources, like Isabella previously pointed out. Okay, so we're going to continue on with the application process and just some of the other important notes. So here are some general reminders, a refresher, if you will, about the CCIF application process. So one application per facility is allowable, and it's really important to compile all of the necessary work and funding requests into your application. Also, the application review process is not based on the order in which they are received. So every application will be evaluated thoroughly, regardless of when it's submitted, up until the application deadline. Submitting an application does not guarantee funding. So this is a competitive process, and while we encourage all qualified facilities to apply, just knowing that, not all requests will be funded. And finally, it is possible to be awarded funding, but you can receive less than requested. So it's really important to prioritize your requests effectively and really just, justify that financial need clearly. Okay. So now we're going to move into scoring criteria. So if some of you have been online in the Business Oregon Resource Hub, you will notice that the scoring rules and matrix have changed from the last round. And I think it's important to just take time and space to really discuss these updates. And so again, you can find these under the Additional Resources tab. I would highly encourage you, if you haven't, to really read these documents and really understand the scoring details. So in phase 1 of scoring, applicants are judged and based on program types and priority populations. So important points include whether your project can really help high-need communities, and especially those that lack the childcare services. And Business Oregon also looks at other factors like hours in which your program operates, flexible scheduling, services for infants and toddlers, and culturally specific care. Moving on in phase 2, it really focuses on how ready you are to move forward with your project. And so you will be scored on things like your budget, a clear description of the work that you plan to do, and if you're prepared to start the project. So they want to essentially see that you have a solid plan in place and you have the ability to carry it out. Additionally, your project is assessed on things like how it aligns with your community needs and its overall program sustainability. So I think that, really explaining how your project benefits your particular community and what plans you have in place, to keep it going after the grant funding ends. Okay, so these are some questions to ask yourself to really just ground it in where you're at and really get yourself thinking about what it looks like applying for CCIF funding. So first, is your program culturally specific? Think about how your program reflects maybe the cultural values and needs of your community. Do you have extensive experience in the industry? So it's really important to mention how long you've been operating and any qualifications or successes that can really prove your credibility. Will your project lead to increasing or preserving slots? How will this address childcare capacity? So that could be a great space to really share data or predictions and really show how your project will either create more spots or maintain the ones that you have. Does your project meet your community's needs? Again, this is a great space to really start gathering data, testimonials, and overall just feedback from your community. And do you have community support or partnerships? So again, just to reiterate, there's so much value in strong community support and partnerships. So that could really help boost your program's credibility, your resources and outreach. Does your project serve a community in a childcare desert? So explain how your project will offer important services to areas that need them. And maybe even if you're not located in one of the top tier deserts, you can really position yourself on, again, how you're meeting the need of that specific community. So what makes you stand out in that way? Other questions to really consider are, is your program year-round? Does your program serve or plan to serve infants and toddlers? Are you able to begin your work on your project once you receive your award? And so again, these questions can just really help you figure out how well your program might align with CCIF goals and really help you prepare your answers, show your readiness, your focus on community, and just the sustainability of the overall program. Okay. So again, to touch a little bit on prioritization for programs and projects, while everyone is encouraged to apply, the program might prioritize funding, for the following types. So culturally specific organizations or early learning programs, programs expanding or offering infant and toddler care, again, programs in the childcare deserts, programs that offer extended hour care, maybe programs that offer subsidies, such as ERDC, programs that operate full day and full year, programs offering instructions in languages other than English for at least half of the program day, co-located childcare programs, early intervention, early childhood special education programs. And so again, this is just a great way to learn more about how scoring and evaluation works. So I would definitely encourage you all to take a look at the scoring matrix on the Business Oregon website. Okay. So I think looking at, those requirements and definitely some of that information in regards to program guidelines and, just prioritization, it can seem overwhelming, but I think it's important to note that we at the Chamber offer a variety of no-cost technical assistance support services. So if you're really looking for support in, the application, creating a budget, business planning, marketing planning, project implementation, legal assistance, grant writing, all of these listed here, we can help you with that. So we would really love if you would just reach out to us if you're interested in receiving any of these support services, or if you need business advising, we're here for that as well. Okay. So we also have at the Chamber more upcoming webinars tailored to the CCIF grant. And these trainings will cover key areas like, again, grant writing, marketing, and much more. And if you have a scheduling conflict and these don't work for your schedule, I would still register and you will be automatically sent a recording. And you can go ahead and scan the QR code, and these are also listed on our Northwest Native Chamber website. Okay, so here is our contact information for the Northwest Native Chamber and First Children's Finance. If you would like to connect with us in regards to technical assistance or just have any follow-up questions, please reach out to us. Please connect with us. We are here to help you through this process. And so I'd like to thank you all for your time in our presentation, and we'd like to open it up for some question and answers. So you can feel free to unmute, raise your hand, or type it in the chat.
I just had a quick question. So if it is a specific question on the grant itself, we should be contacting Business Oregon for that, correct? Hello?
Sorry, my sound was cutting in and out. Jen or Isabella, I don't know if you were able to hear that question. Sorry.
Well, it did sound like, let me just see if I got this right. You were asking if you had questions about the application, should you reach out to us or Business Oregon, or who should you reach out to?
I think I got it. Yeah, I can reach out to Lindsay or someone. It's just specific to my application in the process. So I didn't want to, because it might be different for everybody. So it's my second round. And I'm in the process of doing the application, so I didn't want to confuse anybody. But yeah, there's a question that I have a question about.
That makes sense. I would say too that if you like if the question is about something about the process of the application or like thematic to the application, you can reach out to Northwest Native Chamber and First Children's Finance to receive kind of one-on-one help with that, as well as Business Oregon. You could, if it's something on the application that's kind of like an IT thing, like something's not saving with the question or something like that, like with the technicality of the application portal itself, that's when you should definitely reach out to Business Oregon. They can help you. with that.
Yeah, it was more it had to do with the questions that were asked of me. Because if you did the round one, you have questions that you have to answer before you do round two. So it was with those. So I think that's definitely a Business Oregon thing, now that I think about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brianna? Oh, sorry, Michael. Did I cut you off?
No, you're totally fine. I was going to say the same thing. I see a hand raised, Brianna, if you want to unmute or if you want to type your question in the chat.
Hi there. My name is Andrea. I realized I'm under a coworker's name, but it doesn't matter. We are working on the grant and we have had an extensive remodel planned for the past 3 years, and we keep kind of like we got caught with a bad contractor. So we're in negotiation right now, not negotiation, but we're getting bids right now for this 3-phase plan. And one of the things that keeps kind of coming up in my mind is I'm hearing the conversation around the ready to go, like ready to start the work. And I'm looking at how long it takes for the planning and then the architects and all of the permitting. And I'm wondering, does that just mean that you kind of just have your ducks in a row to get started if you can? And then I think I'm struggling a little bit with having all the contractors looking at all of the work, and then for us to say, I'm sorry, we didn't get the grant, so now you've spent 200 hours to help us get this going, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I see Lindsay unmuted. I want to give her space if she wanted to go ahead.
No
and
worries.
look at
Yeah.
the question.
Yeah. So, sorry, you're not Brianna. What did you say that your name was, Andrea?
That's okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Close enough. Kids don't care, so we just go by the
That's very
plan.
true. No, super good question. So I think what we're looking for is that, there's been thought put into the project itself. You have talked to someone. We don't want you to have 200 hours of, work that's been done before you're applying. And so if you haven't gotten those architectural engineering plans, those types of things, we do want some sort of a quote so that we know how much money you need. The reason why we really need a quote is if you request money from us and it ends up not covering the full amount, we're not able to give you more money. And so it's really important that everyone has a good idea of how much the project is going to cost and factors in, you know, maybe some contingencies just in case, you know, prices go up between now and when you get the funding. So, you know, typically an architect or engineer will be able to give you a bid on, you know, this is how much it would cost for us to drop these plans for you. So that's kind of what we'd be looking for. And I would also say, like, the readiness to proceed portion is going to look very different for a minor project than it is for a major project. If you have like specific questions about your project, and you want to talk through like, how can I ensure that I'm getting the max out of that readiness to proceed score without going through 200 hours of work, like, please reach out to Northwest Native Chamber, First Children's Finance, or Business Oregon. We're happy to talk with you through that, because we definitely want to avoid you having to, you know, put any undue burden on yourself or the contractor. So feel free to reach out.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much. That all makes sense.
Yeah, and just to add on to that, yes, definitely moving forward to that readiness to proceed and maybe not readiness to go. And so definitely with that wording, right? There's more clarification on what that looks like, and it's on page 28, I believe, of the program guidelines. They just talk about a few different ways in which an applicant can demonstrate that readiness to proceed. So it does look different, and just to echo everything that Lindsay said. So thank you so much. And then Natalia, I seen your hand, and then we can go to Brandy after that.
Hi, I'm from the Waldorf School of Band, and we are currently renting our property on very, very bad terms for us. And we are trying to get out of it and are searching properties. And the challenge for us currently is that we have we wanted to purchase a few properties, but got denied because our terms of the escrow account is too long. It's like, before we pull everything together, is this the seller is like, nope, it's not working for us. It's too long of a term. So I'm curious with the grant money, like, what's the first of all, do we need to have a exact property in mind? Or can it be a range then, like these are the examples of properties we are currently looking at, or these ones are where we got denied already, and this is the range we are applying for? Or do we have to have a specific property in mind to apply for the grant, to purchase a property?
You guys want me to take this?
Yeah, I was gonna say if you want to take the start of that one, Lindsay.
Sure.
Thank you.
So we do ask that you have a property in mind. Basically, what that means in reality is that you have the zip code of a property in mind. So when you're applying, basically what will happen is you'll give us a CMA of the property, and then if you're approved and something happens where that property falls through, it's no longer available, seller, you know, it's sold to someone else, which happens all the time. You do have 90 days to find a replacement property. The caveat being, we can't give you more than your original award. So it will need to be either under that original award amount, or you'd have to finance on top of that. And it also needs to be in the same zip code as the property that you originally applied for, just because we're awarding points based off of, or sorry, not zip code. It needs to be in the same county. My bad. It needs to be in the same county. So that's kind of, you know, we're trying to be as flexible as we can, especially in places like Bend, Portland, where properties are just flying. So we'll definitely work with you on that. We actually had that happen this first round. Someone was awarded a property acquisition and the property didn't work out. And so they ended up finding a new property. And it's been working just fine. So, you know, that's one option.
Thank you. Thank you. That answers my question. Thank you.
Great.
Okay, Brandy.
This is my second round of applying. We didn't receive it the first round, but the second round I'm focusing it more on different things. But we're looking at needing a new roof and gutters to go with that. But I'm also looking at, because we've expanded our program and added in infants and increased our toddler room as well. But we don't have a playground that is age appropriate for our infants and toddlers to be able to have them outside. And so I'm wanting to ask for that, as well as the new roof and the gutters, but I also would like to replace an existing playground that we have that would be more appropriate. The question I have with all of that is to do the roof and the gutters and what would equate to 2 playgrounds takes me into the major renovations. And I wasn't sure if because it's not necessarily what I would consider like a major renovation, is that still considered a major renovation because of the dollar amount?
Yeah, because of the dollar amount, it's still considered a major renovation. However, some of the requirements that we have for major renovations, like as you're looking through it, you're like, that doesn't really make sense for what I'm doing. So we can talk. This has happened a couple of times where someone is doing a bunch of little upgrades like that that just end up being over 100K. And we can waive those weird requirements for you that really don't make sense. You will still be in the major category, but basically what I'll have you do for things like, you know, obviously you don't need to go get a permit for fixing your roof. We'll just have you upload something that says, you know, Business Oregon said that this is waived. So we can work on that together, Brandy. If you want to send me an email, I can
Okay.
Yeah, we can work on that.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
Natalia?
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, I just wanted to ask, let me see, I had asked my question. So, can I, like, one of my facilities, we already own the place and we actually just like got it, like last month. So is there any way that like I can apply to purchase the current property that I'm like purchasing? You know, if that makes any sense? And that's one of my questions with that, because like just to pay off the property and that way we can make like renovations to the place. And well, my other question is like, what's the best form of contact? Because I feel like I've been trying to get in contact with like the Northwest Chamber, but it's been a little hard to just kind of get a hold of somebody and get like a one-on-one with someone.
Yeah, thank you so much for that, Natalia. I went ahead and sent you my direct email, so you can reach out to me directly. We are getting an influx of clients, so I would definitely love to troubleshoot with you and just see where that kind of that meeting was, and just, you know, definitely would love to get you some TA and just connected. As far as I guess maybe some more context, but from my understanding, you cannot use funds to, I guess, funds that have already been spent pre-award cannot be reimbursed. But Lindsay, maybe you could provide some more context, or if you want to talk through it a little bit more, Natalia, just maybe some more context about.
Yeah, so Michael's exactly right. Unfortunately, these funds can't be used to pay off any sort of debts. And anything that was done before an award, we're not able to reimburse for. That being said, if there's any sort of renovations that you'd like to do to your property, it certainly makes it a lot easier as the owner, and not needing to go through a landlord. So, you know, something like that we'd be happy to help with, but unfortunately, I know it's a bummer, but that's just because of the type of funds that we have for this program.
Okay, yeah. I think I think it's a little complicated and I don't want to take up everybody's time. But yeah, I can just reach out to Michael. so I can get more information on that. And then I would just love to get on one-on-one with somebody so I can kind of get through the process of this application, please. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we will definitely do follow-up. It looks, yeah, definitely excited to help you through that process, Natalia, and see what support we can give. Okay, I want to make sure too that I'm looking in the chat. Thank you, Isabella, and everyone for answering questions as they come in the chat. I see one hand up, Ramesh.
Yes, hi. So actually I work in the past with Lindsay. Regarding the city of Hillsborough, I don't know if she remember me or not. So from the business development.
Yes, I remember you.
Yeah, hi, how are you?
Hi, good. Good to
Yeah.
see you here.
Good to see you too. So it's this time can City of Hillsborough give me the letter of recommendation, because last application when I applied for the 2 million for the brand new site with the 13 classroom, which is 40 toddler spot and 32 infant slot, and then 100 preschool slot. So I'm still not getting a permit, so it's a glitch for the civil still. So I should expect it any minutes, but should I apply this time for the 2 million, or should I, if I get the permit, is it looks better? But the city, I mean, the reason on the application last time, the only thing I didn't score high, it was we don't need like a child. I'm not on the desert childcare, but the city, according the city, they really need it on that area. So
Yeah. That's the issue we're running into, is that all of Oregon basically is a childcare desert and is in high need of childcare, as we know. So the way that we score it is based on basically the number of children per regulated slot in each county, which is studied by Oregon State University. And what I tell people is that when you look at how those counties are scored, please do not get discouraged if you fall into the 0 or 1 category. It does not mean that you're not going to get funded. Actually, the majority of our recipients in round 1 scored a 0 or a 1 in that category. Because what we see is that providers that are in those counties that are scoring 3s and 2s, there's so few of them. We don't get very many applications from those folks, and that's why they score higher, right? So please don't let that piece discourage you. And I would also say, yes, if there's anything you want to send in from the city, I think that is helpful. We can talk more also if you have, more questions about it and how you want to move forward. I'm happy to talk with you. But yeah, good question.
yeah, do we know how many 2 million gonna be on this round? I know last round was only 1.
Yeah, last
It
round
was really hard to get
I
in.
know. Last round was only 1 because we only had $10 million to give out last round. This round we have 15, so we will be awarding more than 1. And then the round in the summer is 25 million. So we are hoping to award more larger grants this round, and definitely the summer round as well.
So do you suggest like we started with the like a city permit and then go slowly, not apply for 2 million? I mean, 2 million is really hard to get in.
It really is. Yeah, I know. Construction and all of these costs are so expensive. I hear you. I wish we had more than we do.
More than $500,000 just for the permit.
We got almost $300 million in requests in the first round. I mean, the need is huge. So I hear you.
Yeah. Okay. I still not work on the application this round, but I'm planning by next week, hopefully, and we have time until end of this month, correct?
Yes. Yep. And then we'll have another one coming out soon. So
yeah,
we'll keep in touch. Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks.
And I see one in the chat from Francesca. I think it was already touched on, but can someone please confirm if a home is being considered, a pre-loan approval would have to be submitted?
No.
Yeah.
Nope, we are only asking for a comparative market analysis from a realtor. So you do not have to have a pre-loan approval. You don't need to be under contract. Some people do. Some people are able to get under contract and just have a contingency on them receiving the grant. It's really hard to do if you're in like a metro area. But no, we just require the market analysis.
Thank you, Lindsay, for answering that. We have one from Crystal. It
Crystal.
says round 3. Will
I
it be?
bet you have heard both, Crystal.
Yeah.
So we don't have an exact date yet. I am really hoping that it opens up in July, August, probably August, which would mean it would close in September. So it's kind of like late summer, early fall. I would say that's probably why you've been hearing both, because I'm sure both have been thrown out there. But it'll be late summer. Definitely wanting to get it open in August by the latest. And Nilmini, if you don't have your CCIF number, happy to find that for you. Just send an email to the CCIF programs and I'll pull it for you.
I had a question. I was wondering, can any of the funds go towards like preliminary things?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, just include it. The only caveat there is that anything that you're requesting in terms of, I assume you're talking permitting, architectural fees.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that type of stuff. Yes, we are able to cover that. We just ask that it's tied to a larger construction ask. So it's not just permitting or architectural drawings that you're asking for, but it's like the future construction work as well.
Okay.
Vanessa, do you have a question?
Yeah, I did have a question. So, I did apply for it last time, but I got an email saying that we're able to use our application from the first round. But how am I able to access the application?
Yeah. Did you by chance fill out the form that was sent in that email?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Awesome. So all you need to do is log into your account, which if you forgot it, your username is your email address. If you forgot your password, we can reset that for you. You just have to ask us. And then once you're into your account and you click on the infrastructure fund survey or application, and then round 2, it'll just be there. Your round 1 application, and not everything will be there because we did change some things from round 1 to round 2, but a lot of that information will be pulled over and it should be pre-filled in for you. If it's not, something went wrong, so reach out to me.
Okay.
But yeah.
And then another question. You said that we're able to like set up a one-on-one time with you guys to go like to fill out the application. Is that in person or like video chat?
I can take that one, Lindsay. So that one is virtual for our one-on-one through Northwest Native Chamber. I'm not sure if First Children's Finance is currently offering in person, but right now they are virtual.
Okay.
If you feel like other supports are needed, you can email me and let's just have a conversation about what that might look like, but definitely wanting to ensure that there's accessibility for folk.
Yeah, is there a way I could get your email or
I will put my email in the chat and anyone can feel free to you can reach out to me, Vanessa, and we also have one that is for all of our navigators here, so I will share both. Do we have any more questions?
I included my email earlier in the chat to provide that for navigation as well as the request made by our Russian interpreter.
There is a question in the chat in Spanish asking if you have to fill out the application in English, or if you can do it in Spanish, you can fill it out in Spanish. Yes, right, Lindsay? Yeah.
Yeah, great question. That's an amazing question in regards to language and accessibility. I think just the Business Oregon website is where you can actually select the language, right, to view in Spanish, and it can be submitted in Spanish.
Yes, and when you're setting up, when you start your application, there's an option to read the application in Spanish and to be filling it out in Spanish that way. And another thing we can mention about language accessibility is that if you are looking to receive technical assistance from our team, we're not bilingual in Spanish, but we can arrange for an interpreter to join any meetings and that kind of thing. So feel free to reach out. Thanks.
Awesome. Oh, we have one in the chat. It says, can I use the same account as the first round? I didn't apply, but I made my account. Oh, that's a good question. I
In
never
fact, it will not allow you to make another account with the same name. So yes, please use your first account. And if you don't remember your password, send us an email. We can reset it for you. The CCIF programs email.
Lindsay. I also kind of wanted to ask Mike Keller, Jen, if you could kind of explain a little bit too about just our process and getting connected with technical assistants and professional service providers. That was something that Jen mentioned at one of our previous webinars, and I think it was just really clarifying about our process and how that works and what people can expect after filling out like our client intake form and that kind of thing.
Yes. Jen, Jen, do you want to go first or I can? I'm totally fine with
Go for
whatever.
it.
Okay. Thank you,
Thank you,
Isabella.
Isabella. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for asking that question. It's always great to provide context in this way. It's relational. I can see faces and put names to faces. So thank you, Isabella, for that question. So as far as the technical assistance here at the chamber, we can provide again, like that list on the slide of, application support, business planning, marketing planning, legal, HR, marketing. So like all of these things, right? This hub of resources. But essentially what happens is the first step is you reach out, you do an intake, and then you can do a scheduling through a tool called Calendly. Essentially, you will meet with either myself or Jen, and usually it's for an hour or so. And we take time either, reviewing your priorities, getting grounded in your vision and seeing what resources might be available to support you. And also we provide some of our own technical assistance advice and some coaching in a sense. And then we follow up with you, if you have questions in regards to, grant writing, improving from previous scoring, understanding your scoring. That's something that we've helped clients with. Also, just reviewing their application or answering general questions about things in the program guidelines. I think an important thing to distinguish is, we don't take on all of the application, information and submit for you. We kind of are here as like a tool to help you on that process and help clear that pathway. And I know Jen would probably have maybe something a little more to add to how we kind of go about things, but that's what we do for technical assistance. And maybe Jen, you could speak to the professional service provider portion.
Sure. I mean, you covered it so well, Michael. Thank you. Yeah, so, we don't work alone in this silo. We have an entire network of people that we contract that have been vetted, and we trust them to do really good work and work with sensitivity with our clients. And so those folks we call our professional service providers. And we generally, not always, but generally are able to pay for those services through grants. So let's say that you needed to go over some contracts, and that's a legal issue, right? So we'll connect you with our legal team, and they will then create a scope of work. We will agree to it and we'll move forward in that way, because we are not tax professionals. We're not CPAs. We're not lawyers. We don't do those aspects, right? That's not part of our delivery from ourselves, but we deliver that through our network. And so you might be surprised with the kinds of supports that you can access through our organization. And I just want to encourage you to think about that as you're moving forward. For one thing, you're going to be looking at tax burden. So you're going to look at like whatever you're granted, 30% of that is going to be a tax burden that you're going to need to create a roadmap in order to clarify like what kind of write-offs you can expend and how to move forward with that. And we can connect you to a tax professional that'll help you create that roadmap. So those are things to consider. As we move forward, some of this more targeted work that we'll be doing together has a time limit. So reach out to us. Let's talk about it. Let's get you referred to whoever is going that you need to support you as you're moving forward with this, because it's not just receiving a grant and then doing the work to create this better experience for childcare, but it's also sustainability and looking at what that piece is for your business and how that'll work for you down the road. So that sustainability piece really encapsulates a lot of different aspects, right? I mean, you all know, you're all professionals, you understand, but as you're scaling up, those shifts, you're going to see shifts happen. And so we just want to prepare you to be ready for that. And we don't want to, paternalize or what have you. We want you to come to us with your asks and talk to us about what your concerns are so that we can answer things and move forward in your business goals. So anyway, I could talk forever because that's what I do. So I've been trying to stay quiet.
That was awesome, Jen. Thank you so much for grounding us in that work and that important work that we're doing. Does anyone else have any question? I seen someone momentarily come off mute, then mute, so not sure if someone had a question.
Yeah, I think I saw Glenda come off mute. If you have a question, Glenda, feel free to go ahead.
Disculpen, buenas noches. Yo estaba viendo las variables de lo que es la parte de preparación para proceder. Habla acerca de las actividades enumeradas del proyecto y acerca del plan de trabajo con calendarios bien definidos, actividades. Cuando hacen referencia a eso, ¿qué significa? ¿Podrían ampliar un poco más esa información, por favor?
Yeah, so I don't know if Michael and Jen, were you able to hear that question?
I could hear the question, Isabella. I just wonder if there's any support through the interpreter or anything like that. So I apologize. I couldn't hear anything in regards to the translation support.
That's okay. I was able to hear some of it. So just to make sure I'm getting your question right, Glenda, you're asking about the project activities and what that means on the application. Is that correct? Okay. So yeah, I think the question is about specifically where it asks for like kind of line items, right?
Okay, yeah. For instance, okay, I think I know what portion of the application you are referring to. Essentially, project activity can be broken down, and Lindsay, you can kind of maybe provide more context. But from what I've seen clients do is if it's in relation to a particular thing that they are, looking to renovate or looking to fix. So one project activity might be flooring, another one might be the HVAC system. Another one, might be in relation to another fixed immovable asset. And it's kind of a line item, so to speak, from my understanding. But Lindsay, you could probably.
That's totally right, Michael. So, if you're just asking to get new flooring, you might only have one project activity and it's install flooring. Depending on how, complex your project is, you could have 30 line items. So it's totally dependent on how many how complex your project is.
Awesome. Thank you. And thank you, Isabella, for that.
Ok, gracias. Y en cuanto al calendario, ya hablan de calendario bien definido. ¿Hay un tiempo establecido o eso cae en lo que abarca el proyecto? Si mi proyecto dura 6 meses, estaría bien, o si mi proyecto solo va a durar 3 meses, estaría bien, o ¿hay un tiempo establecido para esto?
Lindsay, were you able to hear that question?
No, I wasn't.
Okay, that's okay. The question, and correct me if this isn't your question, Glenda. The question was just about any time limits around the project itself. And she was asking if it's fine that it's like 6 months, or if it's fine if it's 3 months. Maybe we could speak to time limits.
So we're just
like-
really asking for you to make an estimate of how long your project is going to last, and like when you're going to be able to start your project and finish your project. That might change between the time you submit your application and when you're awarded. And that's totally okay. We're able to kind of work with you if you're awarded and make adjustments to your contract at that time. So we're really just asking for you to make a guess on the application. What we really want to see is that you're confident in your ability to complete the project before May 2027. That's really the only requirement that we have, is that your funds, and actually not even complete the project, but get those dollars spent by May 2027. So if you're feeling good about being able to do that, then I wouldn't worry too much about anything else regarding the time frame.
Gracias. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Glenda, for that question. And thank you again. Just wanted to give immense gratitude to our interpreters for this accessibility as we navigate these online forums. Do we have any more questions? I know we're approaching time and I want to make the most of it. So if you have a question, or if there's something you feel comfortable maybe just typing in the chat, let us know. Seeing hearts, I'm seeing reactions. But if you have any questions, I just want to hold space for that. If there's any more. Okay. Oh, I see a hand. Hi, Anita.
Hi. I have a question like I was the facilitator for a panel and I help people to get the register family. But I mean, I kind of interesting in if I'm opening a certified family. So, but I don't have any license. I don't have anything yet. So, will I be able to apply for the next one if I take all those certificate and everything done?
Yes, absolutely. Please apply. All we require for new providers is that you have an active central background registry number or CBR number. So as long as you have that, you are eligible to apply. Sorry, Michael, for stealing your thunder.
Thank you. So if I just went through the background check, I'll be able to apply, even I don't get anything yet?
That's right. Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Lindsay. Okay. If we don't have any more questions, I definitely just wanted to ground us in just gratitude for tonight's space and for everyone's questions. And really, we are here to help support you all in this pathway and really just engage with you all. Super excited and just thankful to do this work. Super thankful to our presenters, to Lindsay from Business Oregon for taking the time to answer these questions and provide clarity. And again, to our interpreters, just for making this space so accessible. Super thankful. Again, reach out to the chamber if you need any technical assistance and attend more webinars. We have, a few coming up, so definitely register for those. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and I think I'm gonna end it if no one else has anything. So I hope you all have a good evening. We're gonna hop off here.